In this Golf Smart Insight, we're going to talk about adjusting from a life of baseball. Now, baseball and golf have a lot of similar patterns built into them, so it's very common if you have played a fair amount of baseball or if you just built very sound baseball patterns for these patterns to show up in your golf swing. So one of the interesting little factoids that I like to mention is if you look at the celebrity golf tournaments, I used to watch a ton of them when I was playing a lot of golf or when I was playing tournament golf. When you watch these celebrity tournaments, you'll see some of the movements that these ex-athletes make from their sport in their golf swing. Well, the best baseball players tended to be the pitchers. Now, part of that's the way that they train differently in the gym, their physical capabilities, but part of it is just their movement patterns aren't as ingrained for hitting as they are for throwing. And the golf swing seems to be a little bit more like a throwing pattern than it does like the baseball hitting pattern. There's two major issues that I see when I work with players who tell me that they've played a lot of baseball and they tend to show up with some of these patterns. The first one is the release. Now I've played competitive golf, played competitive basketball, tennis, a lot of sports. Baseball was one of the ones that I did not have a lot of experience with. So I'm going off secondhand, not first personal experience here. But in the proper release in baseball, you're going to tend to come through with your hands parallel to each other, right? So it'll look more like it drops into this plane, and then this hand will basically stay on top until you make contact with the golf ball, and then you'll see them go through kind of, into that home run hit or finish. Well, I actually had a MLB scout who said, Tyler, I'm a great hitter. So when I had him on, I was like, well, we got to get you hitting a baseball. So in addition to looking at his golf swing, gave him a baseball bat, attached the sensor to it. What was really interesting was the hand movements that he made for the baseball swing were almost identical to that of the golf swing. The only problem was they were delayed in the baseball swing about 1/10 of a second. This is why many good hitters struggle with a slice in golf, because in baseball that release is going to happen, nope, 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 make contact with the golf ball, and now we're going to have the ulnar deviation, rotation, all of the stuff that we see in the golf swing. In the golf swing, if I brought that into the baseball pattern, it would be nope, 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 I haven't made contact with the ball, now I'm going to start releasing and now I make contact with the golf ball. So that subtle difference in timing can cause some huge problems with club face control. And so part of what baseball players end up having to do is to adjust for this delayed club face control. The second thing is lack of weight shift. Now there's many different philosophies as far as what is the proper baseball hitting technique, whether you should stay into the front or stay in the back leg, whether you should actually be kind of having all your pressure going into the front leg. There's just as much controversy in the baseball hitting world as there is in the golf world. What I tend to see with baseball players is when I put the sensors on their body, they tend to have a little bit less of this lateral movement during transition, and they tend to just have this little bit more of a spin axis. Now they'll usually have a very good kinematic sequence. They'll have very good energy transfer, but because of this lack of lower body lateral shift, because of this lack of axis tilt, they will tend to have path issues that actually complement their poor release. So whether it's the chicken or the egg of you got to fix the path before you fix the release, I tend to fix the release before I fix the path, but that's totally up to you. What I'm saying is if you are a baseball player and you're coming to golf, these are the things that you're going to have to get used to. You're going to have to get used to having your lower body ahead of your upper body, which would basically cause you to hit pop-ups in baseball. But in golf, this is really good because this helps get the proper kind of hand path through transition. And then the other thing is you have to get used to this little move I call a motorcycle move and how those arms are going to release, which I go into great detail in the release section. So if you're a baseball player, those are probably the two biggest areas you'll have to pay attention to. But the good news is you already know how to sequence your body and rotate it explosively. You just have to learn how to get it on the proper path for hitting a golf club, which has a club face, instead of a baseball bat, which doesn't.